Hi there guys, this is tutorial number 7. First of all, sorry there hasn't been a tutorial in a while. There's been loads of other stuff going on and other stuff. For example, there will be links in the description for a free model of, I shall show you now actually, of this skull gas mask that I made. You can download for free. That will take you to the Cinema 4D Tuts channel. This guy from school, I know they got pretty good stuff there. So there'll be a link to that. Go to that, like it, download it, comment, whatever's. And I've also been working on the material pack with the same people. There'll also be a link to that, so you can go ahead and download that. It's just this here. I did some of the more abstract ones with displacement. So yeah, that's stuff I've been doing and working on, and there'll be another model coming soon, hopefully to that channel. I'm gonna try and work on getting some stuff over there because they're a partner and got loads of people who would appreciate it. So this tutorial is on how to make a seamless background with Xpresso. Now you may have seen like tutorials how to just do the seamless background, but I think adding the Xpresso, start new, oh dear. Adding Xpresso makes it, it also shows you how to use Xpresso, but adding Xpresso makes it work in a easier way, maybe. So what I've got here is a simple rig with my controls that I made. So we have, this is an old version actually, we're going to change it, but what we will have is a visible editor, visible renderer or render checkboxes for the whole thing, and a color and intensity of the, as you'll see, the vignette style thing. And what's so good about this is it you can get shadows, but it won't fade off. Like, I'll just quickly show you. If we just add ambient occlusion, because as we all know, ambient occlusion is just instant shadows essentially. That's kind of an awful example, but you get the idea. So, because there's kind of a lot to get down and a lot about, and even if and other stuff to do with Xpresso, because there's a lot of stuff to do, I'm gonna get into it. So make your new file. Initially you want to get the basic things to make the actual seamless background. So you want to have a floor and a background, and we're going to get a group, a null, and I'll be in create object null, but you can watch tutorial of mine to learn how to put your buttons everywhere. I just want to call that seamless background. Then we want to add an compositing tag to the floor. So that's right click Cinema 4D tags, then compositing. Once we've done that, we want to go into the tag and just click compositing background. Then we want to make our material for the actual background itself. So what I'm initially going to do, I'm going to right click and on the circle, the sphere, change the preview to plain, because it is just a background kind of thing, and also we can differentiate it easily. I'm just going to call it background. Leave that as it is for now. And we want to apply that to the background and the floor, and we want to go on this, change the projection to frontal. Just make sure it's on frontal for background and frontal for floor. So now you should see it's just a plain white, or grey is the standard color. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our material. Didn't actually name it. Go into material, go into the color channel, and go to the texture bit here, this bit. Lion seemed to have brought back the screen zoom, which is good. I did actually say in a tutorial before that I was annoyed that it took it away. clearly they were listening. So what we want to do, what I've just done, I've gone into the gradient and we want to get a 2D circular gradient, and then on the second knot, because it, as we will learn later, is the second gradient knot, so gradient knot 2, we want to change this to an off-white. I don't like going all that white. Is that the right one? May not be. No, it's not the right one. This, yeah, we want to change this one to a actually no, this one is to be an off-white. We may change this, but that's all fine, all in good time. And this one also an off-white. So for now, we're getting that, but what we will end up making the controllable slider, so it can sometimes look like that. Okay, and yeah, this will, we can also change the color of this on the fly, but all in good time. So let's put that back. So and then go into the main color bit and leave the color as it is. Go down to mix mode here. That's really pointless, but you know, it's fun. And we want to go multiply. As you can see, so far it looks like that. This is all going swimmingly. Now we want to grab our background floor and put them in our seamless background group. And there you go, you've made your seamless background. It will work with anything. Well done, that was the easy part. Now we want to create the user. Okay, if you've never used Xpresso before and changed user data, that is where you can make your own controls for things. A classic example is the Grayscale Gorilla Light Kit. This is kind of where everyone went a bit crazy about it. I'll just show you. You can see he has the Xpresso tag here, and he's also made his own controls using his own controls here, using like the manage user data part of Cinema 4D. Does that make sense? And I'll show you how to do that. So we want to click on our seamless background, and then go into user data, click that, and go manage user data. So to have our own separate tab, we want to add a group, and we're just going to change the name of that to controls. I'm going to actually talk in a less basic way of user data and Xpresso just to speed it up. If you want to learn about Xpresso, there are loads of tutorials out there. If not, and you want me to explain it, I don't know why you would, but if you do, just leave a comment and I'll probably do a tutorial explaining it. If you do, but just look at yourself if you don't want to. So for this we want to have each bit of data is just like another control kind of thing. Yeah, you should get that. So we want to have a visible in editor, add another data, visible in renderer, or renderer. Oh dear, wait, that's fine. And then we want to have a color, however you spell color. If you're American, you don't have the U. You can tell I'm not American. And we also want to have intensity, and the intensity is going to control the vignette intensity. I'm dyslexic, so it's a bit of a pain. So for visible editor, we want to come down to data type and change that to Boolean. That's the first option. Make the default value checked. Do the same for visible and renderer. Default value checked, Boolean. The color, we want to go into data type, change it to color. These are quite simple. Intensity, data type, it's already in float, that's fine. We want to go into float slider, so customizable slider. We want to have the default value at 50%. I think that's correct. Yep, 50% will do us just fine. And then, okay. Now we have our data, you can see it's all down here. You can move that slider, it won't do anything, so reset to default quickly. See, we have our checkboxes and our little controls tab. That's all good. Now we want to add our Xpresso tag, which is right click, set of 4D tags, Xpresso. Okay, so this is our X manager, I think. I don't know what it's called, but that's fine. We want to add our seamless background, and then right click on the output, controls, color, we'll do color. So we want to add all our controls to the outputs. So intensity, controls, visible in editor, and the last one, visible in renderer. Makes it a bit squished. Instead of just doing that and resizing it yourself, you can hold Command if you're on a Mac, or I think it's Control if you're on a PC. I don't know, probably is. And double click on the bit where it says the name. Just a little tip. Okay, now we want to add our components that these are going to change. So actually we'll start with the basic ones. So we'll do visible in editor and visible in renderer. For this we want to drag in the seamless background again and have, so the red is output, blue is input. Yeah, and we want to add, okay, start over. We want to get our seamless background and go into blue input and go into basic properties, visible editor, and then basic properties, visible renderer. Do the same resizing, and then what we then want to do, we want to use a bit of Xpresso calculation. Actually, no, I'll show you. So what you do, we'll link these up, and bear in mind this might be quite a long tutorial, just because it's going over Xpresso. We want to link these up, and this is what you'll see. Because we have the default value is checked, it will automatically mean they're not visible, like so. As you can see, nothing. We want to change that, so invert it or negate it. So you right click, new node, Xpresso, calculate, and then go into negate, and then you want to go into, so when you clicked on the negate and it's red, you want to go into your attributes manager menu thing and go into node data type bool, and then you just want to make another one of those. So I just did control drag, resize. Then we want to get rid of these connections, make the visible editor go to the input and then output to that. So this is essentially inversing what it is previously. And the bool data type, I changed it to that because it was set to real, which copes with like numbers, and that will make it more gradual. And essentially, that's not what we want. So now, uncheck it. It's there. So when it's ticked, it will do it, which I thought made more sense. I mean, if you don't want it like that, just skip that out. That's fine. Okay, that's that bit done. I'm just gonna move that out of the way. It's always useful to keep your Xpresso like thing manager, I guess, tidy and like laid out well, so you can see what's going on. Okay. Next part is going to the Xpresso. We're gonna do intensity. This one's one of the more confusing, I think. Maybe wrong. So we have this open, and we will want to also open our material editor for the background material we made. And where we have the gradient, we want to click on the little preview of it and drag it in. So then we have the gradient here. So then we want to change the blue into shader properties, gradient, and as I said before, we're going to be going for gradient 2 intensity. Resize that with the command double click, and then just drag that over to intensity. Now, when we get rid of this, we go here. It's because we set the default to 50%. Click render. You can see you have a 50% vignette, and because we set the second knot to white, when it's 50%, it'll be 50% from the max when you set it and black, if that makes sense. So when we go 100%, that's what we set at. 0% is the opposite up the y-axis on the general thing. Also, the next thing we want to was reset that to default, and now want to link up the color. So that involves, we'll move that out of the way again, just keeping that neat and tidy. Next thing we want to do is drag in your material. You don't need to go into anything, just drag it in. Then right click on the blue, color, this bit's simple. Link them up, and there you go. Now when we change, because we set it to multiply, it will multiply that. Then you won't see an instant change. Bad with words. So now, as I showed you, it will multiply the color with the vignette. And also, if you want to, you can change the vignette to be more a bigger or smaller vignette, if you like. So the actual light circle, oh dear, is smaller. So there we go. Change colour, just like so. We can add our object. I'm quickly going to show you. See what I've done. I've made a folder of my stuff and added it in. So as you can see, I have my seamless background here. I've added them into my content browser folder, changed the icon so it's easy to look at. So this is my ongoing stuff. This here is my iPhone 4S generator, which you can actually buy. I think I might put a link in the description for that as well. And I'm just going to do a quick test of this seamless background with a model that I made. This is the upcoming model for the Cinema 4D Touch Tutorial. So that'll be a video coming out soon. I might talk more about it. I think my next tutorial will also be on a camera related topic. So if I just quickly turn on ambient occlusion, I'm not going to bother with lighting, but you can just see how the shadows work. Yeah, the lighting looks rather horrible with this camera thing, but you get the picture. With global illumination, this looks really nice. I just cancelled out of it. Okay. So what else is doing its thing? I'll just explain upcoming things. See, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on a camera lens model, like how to model a camera lens. I'm also hopefully going to be doing some more models for Cinema 4D Touch and other stuff. So there you go. As you can see, it's also a square at the moment. The area that it is for, that will change depending on what your output dimensions are. So if you have them to like standard HD, obviously it'll be different. Okay, I think this has dragged on for a really long time, but you know, that's just how it is. I think it's been rather informative, and also I'd like to keep it vague, so it's moderately vague, so it's not just too specified to this actual thing. You can actually use these techniques for something else, with like Xpresso wise. So there you go. That's my tutorial on how to make a seamless background with Xpresso. My name is David, or ThePolaroidMONKEY, and